But first, students at the University of Canberra have expressed their frustration at the lack of parking on campus. A report confirming that more than $500,000 in fines were issued last financial year has angered local students. Isaac Narizi has the details. With the New South Wales government reversing its decision to abolish greyhound racing, it is unsure if the ACT government will follow suit. Ricky Kelly reports. The Australian National University has held its 34th annual Indonesian Update Conference. This year focused on digital media in Indonesia. I attended the conference to find out more.
From the Capital Radio Network, this is 2CC.
It's 30 degrees in Canberra, mostly sunny today, a top of 34. From the Capital Radio Newsroom, I'm Kilau Timur with the 4 o'clock news. The nation's top Catholics have assured child abuse survivors the Church has begun working towards meeting the recommendations made by the Royal Commission's final report. 5 years of hearings has led to today's release of 189 recommendations. It calls for those working closely with children to be forced by law to report information on abuse, including disclosures made to religious ministers in confession. The ACT government has welcomed the Royal Commission's recommendations and will issue a formal response to the final report within 6 months. A former Canberra teacher has been sentenced to 8 years jail for sexually assaulting a teenage student in the 1980s. 72-year-old Gary Leslie Marsh was found guilty for 10 accounts of indecent assault. The former St. Edmund's College teacher has been sentenced to a non-parole period of 4 years. Purbo says the Indonesian government hasn't created an appropriate initiative for the other 40% of Indonesians who live in rural areas. These rural communities are actually self-sufficient in creating their own internet, but it is illegal to do so. The internet providers in Indonesia are more focused in populated areas because it creates more profit. Hopefully, issues raised in the update will influence government policy. The implication of cement Indonesia's factories is not only prevalent in the case of Pati and Rembang, but also throughout the other rural locations in Indonesia. With no response from President Jokowi, the governor of Central Java, and the ministers, the Pati and Rembang villagers decided to join forces to stop the construction of the factories. With the year steadily drawing to a close, the political scene in Indonesia is only just getting started, as the presidential candidates and the political teams are preparing for the political election on April 17th next year. One of the biggest questions is if Joko Widodo will succeed in running for a second term. But how did Jokowi, a common man with no political connection or oligarchy backing, become president in the first place? Relawan, also known as volunteers. A huge movement of people outside of the political system who became a key factor in Jokowi's 2014 campaign. But who are they really, and will they become useful this time around? This exhibition features artwork created by Asian contemporary artists, showing art through storytelling. This includes pieces from Jumadi, a Sydney-based Indonesian artist. Jumadi's art consists of puppets made with buffalo hide, buffalo horn, acrylic paint, watercolor paint, and wax, as well as digital sound and video clips. The film portrays the journey of poet-activist Wiji Tukul, who was forced into exile from his hometown during the era of New Order in the early 90s. Solo Solitude is part of a mission to teach the younger generation inside and outside of Indonesia about the Suharto regime and its significance in Indonesia's history.